afternoon and welcome to the Midday News here on CNC3 and the TVC Radio Network. I am Bhavita Gopalchan. Thank you so much for joining us. Top of the news at this time. Justice Minister Devesh Maharaj says a suite of legislation is coming to improve the judicial system, making processes quicker and more accessible. He adds that there will also be legislation that will make provisions for victims of crime.
There's a parole bill, which we bring into Parliament shortly to bring introduce parole to the criminal justice system. We are introducing amendments to the Probation Act, and quite importantly, we'll be introducing the Victims' Rights Bill to provide rights and so on for victims of crimes.
Maharaj adds that the long-standing issues surrounding delayed trials are also being looked at.
We are working very closely with the judiciary itself to ensure that we have functional courtrooms. We are working very closely with the Forensic Science Center to clear backlogs to ensure that criminal trials proceed quickly. We have had a huge backlog in our autopsy reports, which we have added. We have added 6 persons to the DNA lab to clear that backlog as well. In terms of there, we are bringing certain amendments to the Constitution for the right of reasonable trial, a quick trial.
Maharaj was speaking at the launch of the TNT IVF fertility clinic in Arangwais last evening. Now to this, the battle of voice notes between the former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith and current Commissioner of Police Alistair Gavaro continues. Griffith responded to Gavaro, who accused him of leaving the police service in debt following his departure in 2021. The friction between the two began after Griffith chastised Gavaro for his praise of the U.S. radar for a drug find in Trinidad. The former leader of the National Transformation Alliance claimed Gavaro was being a mouthpiece for the government, but Griffith says he once praised the top cop but insists his departure left a void in the police service, which Gavaro can't seem to fill.
Expect that this Commissioner of Police will be spending time to be criticizing people and bad-talking people. It is hope he can try to embrace change, embrace technology. Because again, I hope that this Commissioner of Police succeeds. But again, I cannot help him because he has proven to be so petty. He has blocked me on WhatsApp. Unfortunately, this is what we have to deal with.
The commissioner in response said he was apolitical and accused Griffith of attempting to remain relevant.
It is unfortunate that that former commissioner of police continues to project his own political aspirations onto others. His repeated attempts at elected office have been rejected time and time again by the population. And that is a matter of public record. They don't want you. I think he actually lost his deposit. I will not be drawn into his personal grievances or his attempts to remain relevant through attacking the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Well, Griffith challenged Gavaro to improve the police service rather than continuing to go back and forth with him. To news of politics now, PNM Member of Parliament Camille Robinson-Regis appears to be siding with former political leader Dr. Keith Rowley, saying the issue surrounding the party's 70th anniversary celebrations is about respect, not simply an invitation. Her comments come amid a growing dispute after Dr. Rowley claimed he was not invited to the PNM's milestone event, a position the party has since challenged. In a statement, Robinson-Regis pointed to Dr. Rowley's decades of service to both the country and the PNM, describing him as his record, as one defined by leadership, integrity and accountability. She said the contradiction between his claim and the party's position raises serious concern, noting that Dr. Rowley is not known to be careless with the truth. Robinson-Regis maintained that the matter goes beyond the question of an invitation, framing it instead as an issue of respect, truth, and how the party treats those who help to build it. The burnt remains of a pensioner were found at his Concession Drive Sea-Lot's home yesterday morning after fire officials extinguished a blaze at his home. Police reported that 77-year-old Raymond Thomas was last seen alive by his son around 9:40 a.m. Police and the fire services were notified of the blaze, and when they arrived around 11 a.m., they found the remains in a bedroom. The cause of the fire is yet to be determined, while an autopsy is set to be done today. Well, Deputy Director of the Counter-Trafficking Unit, Dane Marie Marshall, is advising citizens to be aware of their surroundings and observe unusual activities. Now, this comes after 2 teenagers were rescued by police in what has been described as a human trafficking ring. Marie Marshall says there are stipulations that need to be fulfilled for a situation to be considered trafficking. She says sometimes some women are caught in prostitution rings, are there on their own free will, but many others are not, and minors cannot give consent to sexual engagement.
The components for forced labor would be us determining an act. They're being recruited, they're being harbored, they're being transported. A means, if it's being done by force, by coercion, by threat, whether or not those 2 components in the front there, at the end of it, it is forced labor, and those are the things. So when you talk about the keeping of the passport, that might be some measure of coercion or threat.
And as the Easter school break approaches, the TTPS is reminding parents to pay close attention to their children and the people that children are left in the care of. ASP Uwe Russell says parents should do their best to leave their children with trusted, responsible adults, but also monitor their children's behavior and have open conversations with them.
You may see little bruises and stuff like that, emotional change. You may see a regression. You may see them returning to behaviors that they would have passed, like the sucking of their thumb. You know, at a younger age, they used to do that, and then they stop, and all of a sudden they start back. They may have nightmares. You might see bedwetting, things like that return. You may see emotional behaviors. They may want to harm themselves. They may want to even just be alone all the time, or they may develop an aggressive behavior.
And as the long weekend approaches, the police service is urging everyone to obey the road traffic regulations. From here, we take a short break. Sport.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Lent is here, and the castle is making fasting easy and tasty. With a fresh catch, seasoned local style, and cooked to golden perfection. Try the fish meal, the fish combo, the fish sandwich combo. Want more fish? Well, the Royal Fish Meal is for you. Or maybe you just want our famous fish sandwich. The delicious Lenten specials are hot and waiting for you at your nearest Royal Castle.
Struggling with picky eating? Or unexplained loss of appetite? Or tired of trying to gain weight with no results? Apetamin is here to help. This powerful appetite stimulant encourages healthier eating, supports weight gain, and improves BMI, perfect for both adults and children. Only Apetamin contains lysine, an essential amino acid that boosts appetite, builds muscle, supports growth, and aids calcium absorption. Take control of your appetite and reach your weight gain goals with Apetamin. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Welcome back in sport. The race for the 2026 TTPFL title will go down to the wire as defending champions Defence Force have stumbled again. Last weekend, the Army suffered its first defeat in almost 2 years, which saw its 7-point lead cut to just 4. Well, last evening at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, the Soldiers lost again, this time against Club Sando. Tariq Lee won a penalty which Luke Phillip converted in the 4th minute. The Southerners took a 2-0 lead in the 29th minute when Lee raced away and slotted the ball beneath the Defence Force goalkeeper. Now, Caden St. Hilaire's goal in the 5th minute of the first half stoppage time was only a consolation as the Defence Force would go on to lose 2-1. With that result, they remain on 46 points, while second place Club Sando rose to 45. There are 2 rounds left in the competition. In the earlier match, Prison FC defeated Jablote 2-1. And West Indies women captain Hayley Matthews is echoing the sentiments of head coach Shane Dietz, who said on Tuesday the team needs to play to their strengths. Speaking ahead of the first T20 against Australia in St Vincent at 6:30 this evening, the Barbadian all-rounder shared her thoughts on what improvements the regional women's team needs to make coming out of the recent Sri Lanka series.
We probably weren't at our best, I guess, in the batting department when we look at our top 5 and top 6 batters. But we do know the skill and the talent that we do have within that top 5, top 6. So I think the fact that we probably were able to perform at the level that we did against Sri Lanka without a lot of our big contributors really contributing to the game certainly shows that we have young players who are starting to step up. So it's kind of just about putting it all together at the right time now.
That's it for sport. It's back to a break.
Considering a career in procurement or supply chain? Start the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply (CIPS) program at CTS College. CIPS is internationally recognized as the leading professional accreditation for procurement and supply chain professionals. It covers industry-related topics like strategic sourcing, contract management, and ethical practices. With 1 day of class per week and 6 intake periods, students can get certified in as little as 6 months. Contact CTS College today and ask about our flexible payment options and how you can get up to $2,700 off.
Is mealtime more of a chore than a cherished time? Does a lack of appetite keep your family, young and old, from getting the nourishment they need? Introducing Apetamin, the gentle, effective appetite stimulant designed for every age. Apetamin helps spark the natural desire to eat, turning hesitant nibbles into satisfying meals. Watch as food becomes exciting again, fueling growth, energy, and shared moments around the table. Give your body the gift of a joyful appetite. Find Apetamin in pharmacies nationwide.
I'm so dizzy. I think I'm gonna be sick.
Oh. Caleb, are you okay? Oh my God, are you all right?
Cal! I need help! Cal!
Jackson?
Hey.
What's wrong?
It's Caleb. He's like really...
Where is he now?
It's not far. Come on, I'll show you.
Lead the way.
Be sure to catch Sullivan's Crossing. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Barbados is strengthening its financial ties to Asia with the signing of a recent comprehensive double taxation agreement with Hong Kong. The treaty slashes the standard dividend tax from 5% to 0% and would ensure that businesses and professionals moving between the two regions aren't taxed twice on the same income. It was signed today in Beijing by the Barbados ambassador to China and the Hong Kong Secretary for Financial Services and Treasury. Now, this pact is expected to come into legal force by the 2027 tax year. A Wisconsin man known as the dating app predator is headed to prison for more than 3 decades. Timothy Olson was sentenced on Tuesday for the 2022 kidnapping of a 79-year-old woman. Here's more from CNN.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you take that?
There's text. There's text that exonerate me.
Timothy Olson maintaining his innocence in the moments after learning he'll spend the next 30 years behind bars for the 2022 Franklin kidnapping of a 79-year-old woman. His sentencing Tuesday.
Violating my rights.
Okay. Remove Mr. Olson.
Like
You'll be given another 15-minute break.
A lot like his trial, full of interruptions. So many.
Hold on. You have to be unmuted. We can't hear you.
Okay.
The judge eventually sent Olson, who was representing himself, to a holding cell to appear via Zoom. The state recommending the judge hand down a hefty sentence.
He was realizing that he was closer and closer to getting caught.
Describing how Olson at the time was a well-known dine and dasher and was accused of drugging and stealing from women he met on dating sites. 2 women ended up dead.
It's just adds so much regarding his character, regarding the need to protect the public, Well,
thank you so much for joining us for a look at today's developments so far. We'll have these stories and so much more coming up for you in our Midday Newscast at 7 p.m. today. Until then, have a great day.